Hello. I've played one concert in my Beethoven piano sonata cycle at Riverhouse Barn, and sadly, due to current circumstances, we've had to postpone for the moment. So, in the meantime, I thought it might be nice to make some little videos about the music and the preparation for it, partly to expand on some of the things I say in the concerts, but also to answer some questions that people have asked me about the music and about working on it. In the next concert, when I get round to giving it, I'll be playing two very, very contrasting sonatas, the G major, opus 31, number 1, and the Appassionata, opus 57. I thought it might be interesting to play the openings of both of those to show how Beethoven characterizes his music, how he immediately sets a mood and an emotional state right from the first note. When listening to an opera or a song cycle, it can be interesting to read the text to see how a composer highlights and illuminates certain elements. It could be a word, it could be an emotion, it could be an action sequence. A piano sonata is necessarily more abstract, but that's not to say a composer still doesn't want to convey those emotions in a coherent and touching way. Here's the opening of opus 31, number 1. And hear how Beethoven immediately sets a mood. It's slightly eccentric, it's quirky, and essentially humorous. How does he do this? Well, he starts with the hands desynchronized, gives a kind of comical effect, and he does things like very strong dynamic contrasts from forte to piano. He constantly seems to be pulling the rug from under what he's just done. Let's contrast that with the opening of the Opus 57, the Appassionata Sonata. It's one of his most serious, one of his most mysterious works. Here's the very opening. Now, if I played those two examples back to back and told you that one of them was quirky and humorous and the other was dark and mysterious, I don't think you'd have too much trouble working out which was which. That's one of the joys of interpretation, is to take a piece of music and try to work out what the composer is trying to say beyond just physically playing the notes. What kind of character they're trying to convey, what kind of mood they're trying to convey, and then to bring that out and show it to an audience. But there's also more to it. There's also putting yourself into the piece. There's putting your own sense of humour or your own sense of darkness or pain or joy or whatever it is, putting that into the music as well. I think that's one of the reasons for the longevity of this music, is the joy of recreation, not just of the technical side of it, but also the emotional side of it, and trying to convey that. Of course, as an audience member, it's not necessary to lock into the emotion of an abstract piece. It's possible to sit there and just listen to the sound of the music, and that's a rewarding and enriching experience in its own right. But in relation to my series and with Beethoven, I think he just tried to grab you right at the beginning, and it's interesting to listen to the first few bars of a sonata and decide or feel immediately what's he trying to convey. And generally, he keeps that mood for the whole piece. The Appassionata goes through many different stages and states and lots of keys and lots of different speeds and dynamics, but essentially it's a serious piece. The G major sonata that I played at the beginning, which starts in a desynchronized way, is generally humorous and good-natured throughout. This is one of the joys of playing Beethoven, is the immediacy and the totality of the mood and the emotion and the character that he manages to write into his music.